Hi, I'm Billy Maddox, and I'm gonna mess this up so that you don't have to. Okay, so this is the little resistance pouch that my mom's gonna wear to the park. Obviously, you need to pack light when you're there. There's a lot of walking, a lot of waiting, so you can't have too much on you. This is perfect for your phone, for your little, credit card or whatever you need. So first things first, this is like a toiletry bag from like Delta Airlines from like, I don't know, 1993 or something like that. So perfect. Although it had a bit of branding, that I thought the quickest and easiest way was to cover it in this orange tape that I just had lying around. I did a little test on there that you see at the front just to make sure that this was going to stick, and it does. So here, just load up your brush, just wiggle it, wiggle it into the paint, get a good amount on your brush there. I wanted to do a haphazard stripe down the side of this bag, almost like, I don't know, you're part of the resistance, you've got stuff that you own, like a bag like this, and you want to quickly mark it to show your allegiance. So I'm not really being too careful with this, but also that's sort of part of it, so it's carefully uncareful. Load up your brush, wiggle it into the paint. Like Bob Ross says, load up some good amount, go slow, and go thick so that it could be opaque. Oranges tend to be kind of very transparent. So here's a tape trick. I laid down about 3 layers of this tape. There's layer 3 going on. And if you can tell from the side, oh, never mind, I did it. I'm gonna cut this out of the paper and of the tape. Well, of the tape, but using the paper as a guide. Let it guide you. Let it guide you. Now, this is an opportune moment for me to tell you that these knives are very sharp. And if you cut yourself, you will die. Your friends and family will mourn your death if you aren't careful. I say that because, you're thinking, oh, a sheet of paper and 3 layers of tape, you must be like pressing down really hard. No, look, I'm kind of relaxed. I'm not even wiggling the camera around. It really doesn't take that much pressure to cut through it. Just go slow and you should be fine. I'm going slow because I'm going around these curves and I don't want to mess it up. Because if I mess it up, then I gotta start all over again, and I don't want to do that. Anyway, so yeah, go slow, be careful. Never underestimate the power of confidence over a steady hand. If you're kind of just confident and go with it, rather than being nervous and trying to steady your hand will be more steady. I know, sounds counterintuitive, but it is. So whenever I'm doing stuff like this, I kind of just go in. Oh, let's reveal this. Oh yeah. Satisfying. Wait, oh, it snagged on something. Oh, you see, I was trying to do a satisfying thing and I couldn't do a satisfying. Oh, there we go. Nice and satisfying. All right, let's take this paper off, and then we're gonna have to weed this out from where it's cut. Now, maybe some of you are saying, well, why didn't I do this with vinyl? Well, first of all, I had this tape on hand, and number 2, sometimes I find that vinyl doesn't stick very well to kind of vinyls and leather. Vinyl doesn't stick to vinyl? Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Sometimes I find it doesn't really stick that well to these things, or maybe the vinyl that I'm getting. But yeah, oh, wait, here's another satisfying part. Oh yeah, nice and satisfying. Let's pull that up. Yeah, there we go. Let's get that little tab there and pull the rest of it off. Let's just lift another little tab here. And then we can peel this right up. Oh, that's so satisfying. Is this satisfying? Is this one of these satisfying videos? Am I gonna have to put this on Reddit or something because it's so satisfying? I don't know. I might. So yeah, just if you saw there, I sort of cut a slit so that I had somewhere to kind of peel it up from, and Be careful when you're peeling it up, especially when you're around these sharp corners. What you don't want to do is pull up the whole thing. So kind of just, be careful getting around these little corners. You want them to stick down. You don't want to kind of bend them because then they won't stick. So make sure everything stays nice and flat. Okay, now carefully get underneath your little decal. You just made a decal. Are you following along? If you're following along, you're probably not. You just made a decal. Now I did 3 layers because one layer of it is too transparent, so it didn't look opaque enough. So I did, actually 2 layers would have been fine, but I wanted to be extra sure, so I did 3 layers, and you'll see when I put it on there that you can see absolutely nothing but the orange of this on top of it, which is great. Ooh, when you're pulling this up from wherever you're cutting it, also be careful because it can tear. It's pretty strong now with 3 layers, but you never know. Be careful. Now here I'm thinking I'm gonna position it here. Now for a second there, I think I might not. I don't know why. I've planned it for weeks that it's gonna go there. That's a little greebly I'm gonna add in just a little bit. I was thinking, should I put it there and there? Nah, let's put it where I was originally planning. Go with the original plan. So stick this down. Kind of want to stick one end of it and then kind of walk it over with your fingers, just making sure it's secured all down. You want to make sure those little sharp points, those are nice and secured down, because if it's gonna lift, that's where it's gonna lift. I'm just opening up the pouch so that I can get underneath it and really kind of burnish it down. I even pulled out my bone folder from my book binding just to really burnish it down. Burnish it down? What? I'm using technical terms. What? Just to make sure it's nice and secured, nice and stuck down. This worked so incredibly. I'm really surprised that it did, but it holds really well. And I made this last week and it hasn't moved, hasn't lifted, hasn't anything. So it's gonna be just fine. Okay, it's hot glue time. So I'm gonna add this little greebly. I got it from I took apart some sort of electronic or something and I pulled this out and thought, oh, I could use this for something. Well, that something is this, and today is the day. I have a box of not a box, I've got a little bin of greebly bits that I, pull out for stuff like this. You never know when you're gonna use it. That's why I have junk. You're gonna wanna make sure it's all to the edges. If you add something like this to something like this, you're gonna get some spill out. Carefully cut it out and you'll be fine. Now it's time for the aurebesh stencil. Can you read aurebesh? I don't think you can, so you don't know what this says. But if you can read aurebesh, then you know what it says. I mean, no big deal. It's not a secret or nothing. Am I gonna tell you now? No, it's a secret, but it's not a secret. So carefully cut these out. I do stencils all the time, so I'm kind of good at this. Again, confidence is, I think, is much more valuable than a steady hand sometimes. Just get in there, just cut it out. If you're nervous about it and you're hesitant, you're gonna get hairy lines. It's unavoidable if you're going at it nervous. This stencil is going to be in white, and I'm going to put it on the strap of the bag. The bag itself is pretty much done, so you're seeing it done right now on screen. I don't know why I arranged the little cutout bits. I just wanted to. So let me tape it down. I'm going to cut it down and then tape it down to the strap. And very important, get yourself a cup of coffee before you do this. You see that I magically now have a cup of coffee there. It's very important. Get you some white paint or whatever color that you're gonna stencil it on. I found that again, quick swaths of paint worked much better than kind of going slow and trying to be careful, because the more time you spend putting paint down, the more time it's going to go underneath that paper, and it's unavoidable. So I'm going to clean it up in a sec. You'll see. I get a little bit of spill out. You see, it looks like shit right now. I'm going to try to scrape up as much as I can, but Obviously it's paint, so that's not gonna work. So I just grabbed a Sharpie. See that little splotch right there? In a second, that letter is gonna be nice and sharp. Easy peasy. Just go back in, hide your crimes. I just cleaned it up a little bit. Just like the orange stripe, I did kind of wanna, I don't know, there's something military about, you know, kind of shitty stencils and a quick, you know, a quick stripe. Like imagine a helmet and you needed to like signify you were part of something quickly. That's sort of what it is. Here's some beauty shots of it all finished. The strap and the bag and the greebly and all of the, you know, markings and whatnot. I like that it's two different oranges too. I don't know if you noticed that. The orange of the tape is slightly more of a darker orange, and then the paint has a bit more yellow to it. I kind of like that. Sort of the difference between like some of the markings on the helmets of like X-Wing pilots. Sometimes there's two different oranges and their jumpsuit is a different orange than the markings, like, you know, that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. Roll the thing.